It's Bengals, it's Bears on Sunday. Will Joe Flacco play? That is the question. We have the latest on Joe. I just left Bengals practice. Let's get into it right now on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into CBT. I'm James Rapien at Paycor Stadium, where it's Bengals, it is Bears, it is Sunday, just 72 hours away, less than that now by the time you're watching this, and Joe Flacco. That's the big question, a big question. There's other injury notes, including Trey Hendrickson, Logan Wilson, that we're going to get to in today's show. But first, let's start with QB1, Joe Flacco. Bengals, well, they're going to probably, I'll go with a probably, have Joe Flacco on Sunday, and here's why. And I've done a lot of research and discussion and talking with doctors and different people behind the scenes to come to this conclusion. But Joe Flacco is practicing right now as I record this. I just left practice. I watched him warm up. He went through his warm up. I took some photos, took video of him stretching, and then got to see the first part of practice where he's throwing, still warm up throws, but throws nonetheless. And it looked like a normal day for Joe Flacco. And I think that's the key. That's the discussion now. It's not that he plans on playing. Zach Taylor said that on Wednesday. It's not that everyone is hoping that he plays. I think everyone's expecting that. It's how does his shoulder react, his throwing shoulder react to a day of practice, a day that will likely be limited. I assume they won't make him full go today, but they're going to let him operate and do the throws and make sure physically that he feels comfortable making the throws that he'll need to make. And if the answer is yes, and then he comes out of it tomorrow, and that's the other part of this, is you basically, he's dealing with an AC joint sprain on his right shoulder, his throwing shoulder. And so you inject some feel good in there to make sure that he can get through practice. Right. And then how he comes out of that, I'm sure they did that on Sunday. And Dr. David Chow has been all over this Pro Football Doc on X. And so that's probably what they did today. I don't know for sure. I assume that's what they did. And assuming he comes out of that fine, then that's probably going to be their plan on Sunday. So it's going to be something to watch. One, you don't want him taking big hits on that shoulder. Obviously, it's his throwing shoulder. How does he react? All of those things. But so far, so good. And Zach Taylor, we played roughly 2 minutes of him yesterday talking about this, about the plan, about all of these things. And one of the things he mentioned was we have a specific plan for Joe Flacco. I know that so far so good. This aligns with that. Now, they need him to come out of practice okay. They need him to feel good enough tomorrow and all of those things. But between now and Sunday, it does feel like all signs point to Joe Flacco starting, assuming there's no hiccups, assuming there's no speed bumps or setbacks or anything of that nature, which is huge news. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it's huge news. You made a face when you found out that Flacco was hurt and that he might not be able to practice or that he wouldn't be practicing and that he wouldn't be able to play. And I can give you a bunch of numbers, but he's completing 64.3% of his passes. He's thrown for 784 yards in 3 starts. Oh, and by the way, 7 touchdowns, no picks, a 100.1 quarterback rating. Like, he's pretty darn good. And he's been great for this offense. And so having him out there, even if it's at a little less than 100%, is going to be better than the alternative of not having him. Even if they are confident in Jake Browning, and I think they are, even if they do believe in this run game, and I think they do, and I think that's the other element here, is the way Chase Brown, the way Samaje Perine ran the ball last week, the way Chase Brown ran the ball the week prior as well, where he had a 37-yard run, a 28-yard run against the Steelers. Then he had an explosive run the other day against the Jets, and Samaje Perine had the 32-yard touchdown run. This run game has gotten going. It needs to keep going. It needs to keep going regardless of who's at quarterback, whether it's Joe Flacco with the AC joint sprain, whether it's Jake Browning, because it takes pressure off of the quarterback. It takes pressure off of the run game. And so that's something that I'm looking for on Sunday. Can this continue? You know, the Bengals run for 142 against the Steelers, and you're like, man, it's nice to have a run game. And then they top that by a wide margin against the Jets and really lean in on the run in the second half. And so that's it. Can you keep that going? Huge part of the storyline when it comes to these quarterbacks and the injuries and all of those things. What about Trey Hendrickson? What about Logan Wilson? This Bengals defense needs to turn it around. Will they have two of their Super Bowl veterans? We'll get to that coming up next. Today's show is brought to you by Chubbies. Chubbies, well, it's perfect for everyone, but especially their new fall collection with the chill in the air. Obviously, we know it's football season. We also know that fall means comfort, and you can max out on the comfort with Chubbies Fall Collection because they have cozy layers that are perfect because fall should feel cozy, not constricting. Chubbies delivers peak softness without sacrificing an ounce of style. And that's the beauty of Chubbies. Since football season is here, you can't sleep on all of their officially licensed NFL gear. And they have bold polos, fan-ready mesh shorts, swim trunks. Let's say you're going on vacation during the bye week, or, of course, their entire fall collection. And all you have to do is check out our friends at Chubbies by using promo code JAMES at chubbyshorts.com/James, and you'll get 20% off. That's right, 20% off right now. Get in on all of the fun by going to chubbyshorts.com/James. Support our show. Tell them we sent you. Again, that's chubbyshorts.com/James.
American Home Tech has you covered, Cincinnati. From roofing, siding, gutters, windows, doors, decks, and full interior remodeling. They do it all. I've got to deal with leaves right now. Fall is upon us. Winter is happening. There's going to be the weight of snow. Depending on the age of your roof, you may want to get it looked at. Midwest. Ugh. Here's the thing. As your local experts, they offer free inspections to help you get started. I'm going there right now because I'm not even kidding. I need to get my stuff looked at, man. AmericanHomeTech.com.
So while Joe Flacco practiced on Thursday, Trey Hendrickson did not. He was at practice. He was standing there with his teammates and with the defensive linemen throughout practice, but not practicing, and we'll see. I think that's very much a we'll see. I know this. Trey Hendrickson loves playing football, wants to play football, is going to be all about it. And so how much of that is going to be, all right, yeah, Trey, we need you, versus, hey, I'm ready to go, versus his overall health. Because you have the bye after, but you need this game badly. Like, this is a kitchen sink game, much like the Pittsburgh game was, where instead of falling to 2-5, you're at 3-4. If you get to 4-5 versus 3-6, it's a mountain. It's a mountain difference. 4-5, you're almost back to even, and you have a matchup with the Steelers after a bye. 3-6, well, it's really uphill. It's really uphill. It's putting that thing on a 20 incline and trying to climb up. And that is not something that you want to do if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. Logan Wilson was at practice for a second straight day, was not practicing for a second straight day. Marco Wilson, same thing goes for him. The reason I know that is because he was walking to the Bengals indoor as I was walking to the Bengals indoor, and he was a few paces ahead of me. The point is, this Bengals defense could be without Trey Hendrickson. I think he's going to do everything he can to play. We'll see on Logan Wilson. I think that's up in the air a bit at this point. And if you're Logan, and this is where it gets tough, if you're Logan, you don't want to push it, especially ahead of the trade deadline in your mind from a 1,000-foot view standpoint, because deep down you're probably hoping you still get dealt with Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight in line to make a fourth consecutive start. I think this Bengals team needs to do something big ahead of the deadline, regardless of what happens on Sunday. I would do it today. I think they should try to do it today. I don't think other teams would necessarily be on board with that, but I explained that in our latest show, and it's on YouTube. It's wherever you get your podcast. So make sure you check that out as well, because this was the news portion of the day, but the opinion portion came earlier today. So make sure you check that out if you missed it. Man, oh man, it's crazy. But week 9 is here. We'll have a what to watch for, all things Bengals, Bears, a preview on Friday. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, support our sponsors. And until next time, for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to Cincinnati Bengals Talk.